dedicated to a section.
And that's the way it should be.
Do you think there's enough DJs on the scene? I mean, you're a promoter, Richard. Do you think there's enough DJs on the scene?
I think there's
in
a lot.
The term DJ.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting one. A lot of the DJs that are on the scene, have always been on the scene, have been collectors, and I'm one of them. I started off not as a guy that wanted to stand up and talk to people over a microphone. I was a guy that wanted to play Joe Armstead. I feel an urge coming on Giant Records and get a buzz from it. And I think that's the premise that the DJ should come from. I don't think...
The music's there first.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Now, some DJs are very good with the crowd, and some get it across by being brilliant musically. I mean, you look at somebody like, say, maybe it's unfair to pick them out. You look at Chris King and you look at Butch. You got Chris King that can rock a crowd with his way, get personality. And Butch, who's got the most awesome collection ever. And, you know, if ever... You know, from my days at Wigan, if I could look at a guy that was with me then as a dancer on the dance floor, as a guy that used to come up to me and talk to me and say, I like that, he's carried the torch on from when I stopped, really, something like Butch, and would involve Butch and Chris King at one of my promotions, because they complement each other, don't they?
I mean, you've got to understand that back in the 70s, you know, the names that everyone had heard of were like Richard Serling, Russell Stanley, Colin Curtis, Kev Robertson, myself. And I mean, I think it's important that people have a sort of persona and a personality. There's a lot of record collectors became DJs that didn't have the experience. They weren't real DJs, and they often tend to play to each other by playing very obscure records. Now, I can come up with as rare records as anyone, but I also like to keep my dance floor full. I think that's very important.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
If you don't play to crowd, you're a failure.
That's right. What do you think then? Do you think there's enough DJs on the scene? Do you think there's enough DJs, Ginger?
Not enough good ones.
Good answer, good answer. Right, can I thank you on behalf of all of us Soulies for the service you've given us all over the years, and let's have many more of them.
Can I ask you something?
Go on then.
You're not Tommy Hunt's son, are you?
Well, I'll tell you what, Tommy Hunt and me, we both reckon we're brothers. You're right there, you know your stuff.
Been a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, I do, Ginger. All right, have a good one. Cheers. So, I've always classed you as a DJ, Chris. I know you're a record collector as well, but there is this two sides of the coin, isn't it, on the scene?
Oh, absolutely.
There's a DJ and a record collector.
Yeah.
Both of them are on the stage.
Absolutely.
So, where do you think the scene needs to go?
It needs both, because you couldn't have a stage full of collector DJs, because it wouldn't work. But then again, you couldn't have a stage full of DJ mouthpiece DJs, because that doesn't work either, because you need the other guys to bring stuff through. They collect hard, they search hard, and they make sounds available to people for us to hunt down. But you still need somebody to hold it together, you know, who can DJ, you know, your Gingers of this world, Terrors, Shifty, but you've got to have your collectors as well. And you've also got to have your soul club DJs and let them have a go, because they keep it going grassroots, week in, week out, and they love to get a place like this rather than it's always the same old school.
Come on, Al. I remember you loving we were in a cellar bar. What was it called? The cellar?
Oh, yeah.
It was a cellar bar, wasn't it, in Southend?
Yeah.
Then you'd have about 20 punters.
The thing that made it for me was when we done the maltings.
The maltings?
Yeah, that was just... I can always remember trying to eat a bacon sandwich. I'm not messing around now. Trying to eat a bacon sandwich on the stage, being like you do, and I couldn't swallow it. My mouth was so dry up there, and I was just trying to talk the record in, and I just said like a mouthful of bacon sandwich. I love the music to pieces. The only thing I hate about it is the travelling. It's like everything's like 4 hours to get to. So that's the killer. Yeah.
So, I know you've hit all of the major venues in your time now.
Mm-hmm.
What's been your favourite venues and why?
Your City.
The Maltings?
No,
isn't that true? Isn't that honest?
No, the Maltings was at the time.
It's your first one, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's just awesome. My favourite venue is the Ritz in Manchester. Yeah. Just the whole place. The way the floor bounces, the Maplewood dance floor is sprung so heavy. Awesome. But really, it doesn't matter, does it? As long as you've got an atmosphere like you got here tonight, then it's fine. It doesn't matter if you're in a shed or... Doesn't matter.
James, I'll ask you the same. What goes through your head now before you're about to start? What sort of things go through your mind?
Obviously thinking about the records that have been played, looking at the dance floor to see if the numbers are still here because we're quite late into the event, and just putting together a set that we can mix the tempo up and down in a proper manner.
Keep them going.
Yeah.
Right, well, we'll finish then, but I know, right, I know we talked off camera, and I'm not going to put you in a position on camera,
Yeah.
but you've got a big smile on your face. You've managed to put a new record into your collection. Are you going to tell us a bit about it and why?
Yeah, it's a record that I first heard Butch play maybe 10, 12 years ago, covered up as the Delllarks. And
Butch's old record, is that right?
yeah, and there are 3 copies known to exist in the world. And tonight, after chasing for 10 years, I've secured one, and I'd probably say it's the second most expensive
I'd say
Northern Soul
definitely is.
record
I'd say it
in
definitely is,
existence.
Kelly. Well,
That's as far as it goes.
for your dedication, commitment
best.
to the scene, Kelly,
Thank you
thanks
very
so much on behalf of us all. Have a good spot.
I will do.
Are you going to spin it?
It's been played tonight already, but hey,
Come
why
on, you've
not?
got to give it a spin
Yeah,
first
why
time
not?
out. Enjoy it, mate. All right, job done. I mean, you've come here tonight. We just see you spot DJing a little while back. A lot of passion coming from you. I'd class you as a DJ. I mean, as a record collector and as DJs, you were up there enjoying doing what you're doing and sharing that with the dancers from the stage. How do you think? I mean, do you think that's an important thing to do? What's your DJ interest? What is it?
Well, I don't know. It's just like the dancers, isn't it? It comes from the heart, doesn't it? And you do what you feel. And if you're up there and the music doesn't move you, then you shouldn't be into Northern Soul anyway. Just like no good being on the
There's some
dance.
out there though, Terry. There's some out there.
Well, yeah, there probably is, but like, it's no good standing still on a dance floor. So why should I stand still or be any less enthusiastic just because I'm up here? I'm privileged to be up here,
Right.
and I'm privileged to be able to share the music that I love with a dance floor that hopefully will stay with me.
Well, that is wise words. Served me well for 10 years DJing on the scene. It served me well. Right, I'm with an absolute Nottingham legend here. Derek, what do you think of the night tonight then?
I think it's been really marvellous, and I'm really glad I came.
What are you still here for, Derek?
No.
Why are you still kicking them?
I just love the music, can't get enough of it.
What are we going to finish on?
If I can find it, we're going to finish on Sam Fletcher, and I think it over.
Think it over, absolutely classic.
Yeah, it is. We found it. We found it now. We're all right.
I'd think it over twice. I'd take some good advice if I were you. Girl, you say you love him.